Okay, in this video we're going to talk about whether data is continuous or discrete. So remember, continuous means that once we have our data points graphed, that we are going to connect the points. And the reason why we're going to connect the points, if this was 1 and this was 2, is that we want to include all the data points in between because they are possible data points. So for example, like if 1 and 2 are our x's, we would want to include like 1.5, the fractional and the decimal values in between. So like if we're talking about, how tall we are, we could say that we're 6.5 feet. Okay, discrete would be if we don't want to connect the points. So if this was 1 and this was 2, let's say we're counting how many people are in a room. We aren't going to say that there's 12.5 people, so we don't need what's in between, the fraction and the decimal values. So if we take a look at the first example here, it says the number of students enrolled at ASU. That's going to be discrete because that's something that is counted. The number of students at ASU is a value that is counted. So for example, you can't have 2.5 students enroll. You can't have a half of a person. So that is why this would be discrete. The next problem is the population of Los Angeles on October 1st, 2015. So on that particular date, we're going to count how many people are in Los Angeles. So it is discrete because we're counting the number of people. So when we're counting, we're not going to say 350.5 people. We can't have a half of a person. So that is why it's discrete. Okay, we have the height of a tree in my backyard. Height is measured. So that means the height of the tree can be 12.5 feet or 12.25 feet. So we want to include even the decimal values. That's what it means by the tree can be an interval of data. Interval means like, it could be between 6 and 7 feet. That's what interval means, is it includes everything in between this as well. Okay, the number of leaves on a tree in my backyard. When I'm going to count that. So that is why it's discrete, because I'm counting how many leaves are on my tree. I'm not going to count little itty bitty pieces as, oh, that's 1.22 of a leaf. I'm going to count how many leaves are on my tree. So that is why this is going to be discrete. We don't want to include what's in between 1 and 2 leaves. We're just going to say that's 1 leaf, that's 2 leaf, and so on. Okay, the last one here, the depth of the water in my swimming pool, that is measurable. I can measure the depth of my pool. So because depth can be in between, like, if I have water in my pool here, this water does not need to, the water, if this is 5 foot right here, and this was, let's say, 4 feet right here, the water level can be in between 4 and 5 feet. So it is possible for the pool depth to be 5.5 feet. So that is why it's continuous, because everything in between the counting numbers can also be data points, should be included.